So in and amongst everything that's going on today, which is WrestleMania and talking about hockey and all the series that are seriesed up, we went to see a movie today.
We did.
We saw Shazam. And your impression?
I thought it was good. I'm glad we didn't have kids with us.
Agreed.
While being rated PG, it definitely wouldn't have been appropriate for Adelaide.
No.
That would be way too much with all
There
the
were a
demons
couple of the
and
really
stuff.
intense,
And
yeah.
It wouldn't have been appropriate for Adelaide. The boys would have thought it was pretty awesome, though, I think.
Yes. I remember when I was a little kid and Shazam was a TV show, and that was like my favorite superhero. I'm glad DC's gone this route where they've got rid of the depressing Zack Snyder angle of the whole universe of DC. It doesn't need to be all depressing and violent. Superman doesn't kill people. So the way that they portrayed it here, I thought this is how the superheroes should be. They should be heroes. That's how it works, rather than this whole dark crap they've been pulling with a lot of DC movies. You would not know this was. You'd think it was Marvel.
Yeah.
To be honest, just at how lighthearted it is, doesn't take itself seriously, and very very fun movie. So we're gonna get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend people go see it. I don't know if you would recommend people to go see it. We both enjoyed it. And so that being said, if you're worried about spoilers, this is when you turn away. You still here? All right. Okay, so now we get into the whole spoiler thing. Now, this movie did surprise me a couple of times. However, it made it look like the original Shazam was kind of an idiot. Well, think about it. How many people around the world did he ask whether or not they were pure of heart and they all failed the test?
Right.
How many dozens of people did he ask? How many more villains did they create? You could potentially see a bunch more villains just because, are you it? Nope. Are you it? Nope. Are you it? And then at the end, it's like, oh, Billy, I've been waiting for you. And I'm thinking, well, then why did you screw around all these other people and mess with the brains? I also liked that Lionel Luthor was in this. I kind of went nuts when I saw Lionel Luthor at the start of the movie.
He did.
At least the actor that played Lionel Luthor in Smallville. That's so much fun. That was so much fun. I was like, oh, he's still in the DC universe. Now he's in the cinematic universe. And technically we didn't see him die.
That's true.
Technically.
That's true.
So technically, if/when there's a sequel, and the $57 million it made this weekend tells me they'll do a sequel.
And the post-credits.
Post-credits was fun. That's more of a teaser than it is like a big ol'... The idea is at the end, like, Shazam's talking with Superman. It'd be nice to see Superman not all dark and evil and killing people. That'd be great. Superman doesn't kill people. And I say this because I was a giant comic book nerd, and that was always the discussion we had was who's cooler, Superman or Batman. And there seemed to be an idea that Batman was almost as much villain as hero because he did kill people.
Right.
Whereas Superman didn't. That was his whole... He didn't kill people. It didn't matter how horrible the villain was. He would bring him to justice, and that was it. Batman, if I have to snap a neck, I'll snap a neck. I'm not dealing with this crap again. Shazam, very, very fun. The interesting thing with Shazam is he was Captain Marvel. Then Marvel created Captain Marvel. So the last two movies I've seen in the theater were Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel. And I would say this one was cleaner. Like it's an oranges story. Sorry, I just had to. It's an origin story, which, I like oranges better. But anyways, it's an origin story, which is a lot of fun. And it didn't get into, oh, here's Aquaman over in the corner. Oh, here's... Part of what Captain Marvel did a little bit too much was try to shoehorn all the rest of the Marvel Universe into her storyline. And I think Captain Marvel would have benefited...
Crazy.
It would have benefited from just being, here's her origin story, and that's it.
Yeah.
And this movie does that. They mention Batman, they mention Superman, they are not in the movie. There's no, like, oh, hey, look, back in 1974, this is why Bruce Wayne got his parents killed, because it was something to do with this. There's all this crossover crap. I think the crossover crap in superhero movies hurts them at this stage. I think that while everybody wants their big nerd moments, I hope that after Endgame
But it
passes
makes it
next month...
so people like me don't like watching them.
I think that after Endgame passes next month, I would hope that we get back to just more singular stories. You can do your Avengers type movies, but keep them to a minimum. Have the characters stand on their own. You know, have if a superhero is strong enough, they can have their own movie, and they can pull it off like Shazam did. Yeah. And this was fun. So, you know, he gets the powers, and he does what a 14-year-old kid would do. He tries to get beer, and he tries to get into a booby bar. And I'm like, yep, that's 14-year-old boy. That sounds about right. And he thought beer tasted disgusting, which is exactly what happens as a teenager.
I was like, this tastes like vomit.
Like actual vomit.
Get candy instead.
Yes, that was great that they get the beer and, oh, we hate this, so they're going to get candy and chips instead. And I thought the way that he discovers his powers protected him as much as he projected those powers. So when he realizes he can fly, to me that was his powers protecting him from death. Mm-hmm. That was his powers going, okay, you're about to fall to your death. Okay, we're going to stop you in time. And that I thought was really fun. Basically, he can do everything.
Yeah.
Which might make it a bit difficult for sequels. But I thought it was fun. I thought the foster kid storyline was fun. Unlike Disney, in Marvel movies and DC movies, parents are really crappy people. So in Disney movies, the parents are dead. In superhero origin stories, the parents are very often kind of crappy. And in this case, his mom, kind of crappy. That whole backstory, though, was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
it was kind of clumsily done.
They didn't spend too much time on it.
She's with him at the fair, and then he gets lost, so she goes, eh.
No. So she was looking for him, and she was calling after him. No.
But he wasn't that far away.
No. But did you see how many people there are? And with him being little, you know Malachi. Mm-hmm. When he was bitty like that, and if you're around a lot of people, you don't see your little kid. But they showed her frantically looking for him.
Until she saw him with the cops, and she went, eh.
Well, see... Yeah, it is a horrible reaction, but I understand what she was saying, that
I kind of can too.
Better hands than mine.
I wonder if we're gonna do, because it reminded me of Joe Dirt, and I thought,
no.
See, Joe Dirt, the idea in that movie was...
I quit that movie in the middle of it, so
Joe Dirt, his parents...
I blocked it.
His parents abandoned him at the Grand Canyon. So he remembers it that he's lost his parents, but it turns out they've abandoned him and they're horrible people. And then when they find out he's famous, then they try to latch onto him and try to hawk their wares, and, oh, look how awesome we are, and buy crap from us, because we're related to Joe Dirt. And I'm the only concern I would have with the second movie would be if he becomes famous and his mom figures it out, and then she wants to, like, glom on. And I don't want to go to Joe Dirt route with Shazam. I don't. I really don't. But that's what it reminded me of, was Joe Dirt. And I thought, this is weird that a DC movie is reminding me. I don't know. My ex maybe watched Joe Dirt a lot.
No.
It was okay. Dennis Miller has some good lines in it. There's a lot of throwaway parts that are kind of crappy, but it has its moments.
They don't make the movie worth it.
No, not really.
No.
There's parts of it though that work. Parts that work enough that I was able to get through it.
No.
And it sort of got a cute ending, but you never got to the ending. But it's got kind of a cute ending to it.
Crap. So I turn movies off.
I can't really argue that, and they've talked about making a sequel, and I just don't understand why. Dear Lord. It's weird.
I mean, I like David Spade, but...
No, you don't.
No.
You don't. When was the last time he was in something you liked?
Well,
Tommy
not
Boy.
Since Chris Farley passed away.
Tommy Boy. Or Black Sheep.
Yeah.
So,
Chris Farley movies.
So Chris Farley made him palatable for you.
Yeah. Yes, he was perfect contrast.
Right. And in this movie, you have a bit of a contrast. I thought it was nice because I really stayed away from spoilers, and I really tried to learn as little about this movie as possible before I went into it. The idea that it's the kid that's kind of a bit of a jerk that ends up being the superhero, and the kid who's the sad, disabled child who you would think would be the put upon superhero. No, not in this one. Not till the end. And I thought that ending really caught me off guard. That ending really caught me off guard. So there's 7 deadly sins that are turned into these weird demon things, and so they seduce the main villain in the story to, hey, free us because this Shazam guy can't keep us prisoner anymore. Well, he's too weak.
You get more power from us.
And yeah, you get more power from us than you're going to get from him, which they admitted to him immediately after Shazam is transferred that he's stronger than you. And so you have these demons living inside of Mark Strong's character. Mark Strong was fantastic as a villain in this. He was a great villain. He was pretty darn perfect. I thought his portrayal of the villain in this was pretty darn good. And I thought the acting in this was pretty solid. Like, Zach Levi, when he's Shazam, he's playing as a 14-year-old kid being an adult. But it didn't come across as hammy to me.
Right.
Like, it didn't come across as, like, winking at the camera. I'm not really 14, but we're playing this for the movie. There was no fourth wall breaks. There was nothing cheesy. Save that for Deadpool, which is in the Marvel Universe. Deadpool's fantastic. It would be great to see Shazam and Deadpool in a scene together. Just one. Just one scene, just for fan service. Just have Ryan Reynolds and Zach Levi. Just have them. Those two characters, it would be so inappropriate. It would be hilarious. It would be amazing.
Cross-Canada superhero movie.
Yes. And
the superhero for Toronto and the superhero for Vancouver.
Absolutely. It was a really well put together movie, and I thought that it's made $57 million this weekend, and I think it's a really nice movie. They stripped the budget down. It was only $100 million.
So insane.
Only $100 million. I think your budgets are out of control, Hollywood. Your movies shouldn't all be $250 million, because then for them to make money,
right,
whatever the budget is, you spend half of that then for marketing. So if it's a $250 million movie, that's another $125 million for marketing. So now you have to make $375 million to make a cent.
That's just crazy.
Whereas this movie needs to make $150 million to make a cent, and worldwide it made $300 million.
Right.
So I think it's all out of control. The comic book movies, the insane superhero worlds.
But this one, I liked that it wasn't all tons of explosions.
No. It's just a kid in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
who runs across some weird guy with a staff and gets superpowers.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, all the kids get superpowers.
Because some movies is just too much.
Now, the oldest of the foster kids, she's not 17. When I saw her, I'm thinking, okay, she's supposed to be under the age of 18? Really? And so I looked her up because she looked very familiar to me.
She could have been 18 if she was trying to get into university.
She's 22, though.
Okay, so
the actress is 22. So, I think it's Emma Roberts she reminds me of. So, I know she doesn't know who that is. But I think Emma Roberts is the one, because you notice on the screen, I'm like, I don't know who she is, but she reminds me of somebody. So, I think it's Emma Roberts. Better actress than Emma Roberts on some level, although Emma Roberts, I think, picks crappy scripts, too. But, it's Julia Roberts' niece, Eric Roberts' daughter.
Okay.
So, I don't know why I know these things. But yeah, that was a fun movie. I don't know with the sequel. Do you do a sequel where all of them are superheroes? Or do you strip it down to where it's just him? Something happens and it's just him again.
I don't know.
Might be a challenge if all of them are still superheroes.
Yeah. True.
Because they're all like... It's sort of like in video games how if everybody's overpowered, you get kind of bored.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like that could happen if they do a sequel and they're all overpowered. So you'd have to kind of have them start out without their powers. Like I mentioned before, but Iron Man 3, where Tony just has to be Tony for a little while. And then it makes it more of a payoff when he's Iron Man until... Forget the Pepper Potts having superpowers thing altogether. That just pretend that doesn't happen, and Iron Man 3 is a much better movie. Pepper's terrible. She's Gwyneth Paltrow's character in Iron Man.
I vaguely remember that.
That's as good as...
I remember Gwyneth Paltrow being in it.
Yeah, her and Scarlett Johansson hate each other. That's why they're never both in the same movie. So in Avengers Infinity War, they ask about Pepper, and Tony comes up with some, oh, she's off in Europe or something, and I'm thinking, yeah, right. They just hate each other. So since Scarlet has to be in this movie, she's nowhere to be found. So I thought that was interesting. Or no, that was because she's in it at the start. They're never in a scene together. But there is a part where she's gone. It might have actually been in Civil War. That would be a more interesting war. Would just be the two of them arguing with each other. They're probably just both divas, I would think. It's probably just, I'm the queen. No, I'm the queen. You back off. I'm the queen. There could be some of that going on. It's Hollywood, so that could go on. Yeah, so if I had to grade this out of 10, I know my grades are always really, really, really generous.
Yeah.
But I don't... I'll say this, I'm not going to grade it out of 10, but I can't think of a flaw. I can't think of a part of this movie that I watched and went, that's kind of dumb. It was really well put together, which in this era where there's so many cookie-cutter comic book movies, was genuinely a breath of fresh air. There's parts that you could see it coming, where, you know, the hero moment and all that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel contrived when it happens.
Yeah, there were a few parts that, weird, and this is going to happen.
Although I was surprised that they didn't have the Ferris wheel roll. I was waiting for the Ferris wheel to start rolling. Even though I know they don't do that, that's a movie thing where they just start rolling. At least it's a Simpsons thing too, right? So I was waiting for it to start rolling.
No, but
and
I
it
knew
didn't.
they had to save those boys.
And he gave them a briefcase wedgie when he did it too.
Yes.
So, or a suitcase wedgie, whatever wedgie it was. Which was interesting. I thought those villains, they're just brats. It sort of reminds me of...
in school.
Yeah, it reminds me of Flash in... The guy's named Flash in Spider-Man. The bully that picks on him in high school. And, you know, there's some sort of comeuppance there. Not really, not a whole lot, but it sort of reminded me of that. Where you have the high school bullies just so that at some point they have some kind of comeuppance. I think destroying that truck, which clearly wasn't either of their trucks, I think that was big right there. Clearly one of their dads owned that truck. But the fact that they douchily drive up onto the sidewalk every time, wouldn't somebody call, like, at least parking
When I was
police?
in school, they'd put boots on the kids that didn't park properly.
And then they hit the kid, and nobody called the police?
Right.
They hit a kid with their truck. This is criminal behavior. This isn't just, oh, look, they ran him over with their truck. They hit him with the truck. Somebody needed to call the police. It's a really crappy school. It's no wonder that their security guard's called moron. That was a good bit. There were a number of good jokes. It's a movie that keeps you laughing. It's a pretty good movie. And the post-credits scene is interesting. So, it definitely loans itself to a sequel. And Mark Strong will be back again as a villain, and I like that. Because I think he was very entertaining and very believable as the villain. Alright.
Yep.
So what would you say about it?
Yeah, I thought
in
it was
closing?
good. It wasn't obnoxious like a lot of the superhero movies that have been coming out. So I'm not a fan of a lot of the superhero movies that have been coming out.
I know. And then we have to watch Endgame next month. So you have to watch Infinity War before we go see Endgame. So get ready for the quantum universe.
I don't really want to watch that.
They're going to get shrunk down and go to the quantum universe.
Yeah, it sounds stupid.
Are you gonna be excited? They're gonna go to the quantum universe. You're gonna do some time travel.
No, not really.
You're gonna be excited. She's gonna be excited. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. Anyways, there you go.
I get to pick a movie after that. If I have to watch that crap, then I
Yes,
get to pick a movie.
in 2022, you can pick a movie. Up until then, we've got wall-to-wall awesomeness coming. So, there's a lot of awesome movies coming out. So I'm excited. You'd probably make me go see Aladdin, wouldn't you?
Yes. That'd be great.
You know Will Smith's the genie, right?
Yeah.
You know he looks goofy, right?
Of course he does. He's a genie.
Okay. Alright. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, let me know what you guys think if you saw it. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And I'll get back to the whole wrestling thing and maybe do some more hockey videos. And I'm having a busy day.
You always have a busy day.
Busy day. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.